Hi and welcome to my review of The Goodies, the complete BBC collection. Today we're beginning Season 4 with Camelot. Tim's eccentric uncle King Arthur asks the Goodies to come and mind his castle in suburban Wessex, Camelot, while he and the family go on a holiday. He also asks them to help him keep the castle out of the clutches of the local town planner who wants to turn it into a superhighway. To raise money to keep the castle, the boys turn it into a medieval amusement park. But even so, they've still got a fight on their hands when the town planner tries to beat them at their own games. Highlights of this episode for me included the curtains they've got in their office all of a sudden, which I don't recall seeing before. Fantastic purple and black psychedelic style curtains. Graeme starts to make a patriotic speech in this episode, taking over from Tim until he is interrupted. The reveal of Camelot is brilliant, panning up a regular suburban street until we get to the castle. I just thought that was fantastic. And we get to see Graeme in tights again in this episode. I thought his whole outfit was beautiful. Bill's codpiece joke is fantastic. I really loved seeing Tim's medieval comedy routine in this episode. I thought it was very funny and really great to see Tim getting to do something different. He's going quite Frankie Howard here, and Bill's clearly enjoying it. He seems to be having a real chuckle. In fact, Bill seems to be having a really good time in this episode. He looks really happy and he seems to be on the verge of smiling and laughing most of the time in those castle interior scenes. But perhaps the biggest highlight for me in this episode is the song, Taking You Back. It is one of my all-time favourite Bill Oddie songs, and it has been stuck in my head for the past 40 years, in a good way. It's got a killer riff and a real growl to it. I just love this song so much. Now, everything was going fine in this episode until we briefly see the medieval minstrels. This is a comedy gag where they juxtapose medieval minstrels with the makeup of a black and white minstrel. Now, this is an episode, like many of their episodes, which is full of references to contemporary culture. There's a bit with Bill wearing the Woody Woodpecker looking armour and he gets into some Woody Woodpecker jokes. There's the Frankie Howard reference, which we just mentioned before. And then there are these references to the black and white minstrels. My feeling is that they are using these cultural references as a sort of surreal touch in the medieval setting. Now, a lot of the humour in the Goodies comes from the cultural references they bring in. And my feeling watching this is they're using the minstrels as a kind of contemporary cultural references, not an attempt to belittle, people of colour, but it doesn't make the appearance of blackface any less uncomfortable or unacceptable to a modern viewer. Unfortunately, they bring in this reference again when Tim has soot breathed on his face by the dragon. He suddenly appears like a minstrel and does a Al Jolson, mime thing. And we do need to remember that it was a contemporary cultural reference for them because the black and white minstrel show was on TV while this was being made. I'm not saying this to defend their use of blackface because I don't think you can defend it, but I think we have to acknowledge that this was the cultural landscape of the year that this show was made. The Goodies certainly reflect the culture of their time and sometimes in ways that sit uncomfortably with us today. That aside, I noticed that there are a lot of jokes in this episode which look very much in the spirit of the Holy Grail, even though I'm pretty sure this was released before the Holy Grail came out. Perhaps it's the shared influences that the Goodies and Monty Python had as Cambridge Footlights players coming out here. This episode's guest star is Alfie Bass, a star of British stage and screen and also memorable from his role in Are You Being Served? He's really great here and comes across as a total comedy pro. If we can put the thorny issue of the minstrel references aside, I found this an energetic, exuberant and really fun episode. The boys seem to be really enjoying themselves here, and particularly Bill. And it was funny watching this again. I suddenly realised it might explain my obsession with Cryle Castle, the Australian tourist attraction of my youth, a very dubious medieval amusement park. Season 4 seems to be off to a pretty strong start, and I hope you'll join me next time when we move on to Invasion of the Moon Creatures. I'll see you then. Bye.